Hey everybody, it's Annette Green here. Today I want to share with you some fun cards. It's one card design from Whitlock's SVG shop, and I will give you the name and the link in the description, but I have made it 3 different ways with Graphic 45's Little Women paper collection and some bright, cheerful cardstock colors, as you'll see. So I wanted to show you these 2. They're slightly different as far as what papers that I used in the collection. Very dimensional, very fun. They each have that belly band and they both pop open like that. And each one is stamped differently. This one happens to be for Mother's Day. I used a little stamp from Close to My Heart, from back in my Close to My Heart days on that one. And this one says Happy Birthday. And so I'm going to make one more as a tutorial, and that will be a thank you card. So let's go. Okay, I got all my pieces prepped here. But the first thing that you need to know about Lori Whitlock's file for this particular SVG cut is that she does, I'm trying to get some better lighting going here. Got a lot of shadow. She does this card in a smaller size. I believe it's like 4 inches when it's all folded down. Mine is larger. Mine are 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 roughly. So I just wanted them a little bit bigger, and you know, I'm pretty handy with my Cricut design space, so I made some alterations myself. You know, if you're inclined to do so and you want a bigger card, then you can make some adjustments, like, because you know the paper's only 12 inches long, so you have to kind of get clever and make pieces out of her pieces and, you know, fudge it and put it back together to make it bigger. If you don't mess with all that stuff, you don't want to, you're not good at it, then just follow her file and your card will be a little smaller. Okay, so with that being said, this card is going to be yellow, so I use yellow cardstock. I've got some double-sided tape here on these little scored flaps, which, like I said, I added these. I created this piece from her file using slice and all those little steps to make that. So I'm going to attach that to my base square back here. And this other one, you have to make sure that these are opposing, like so. So you got to make sure you put it on right. So we'll do the same over here. Okay, and you may or may not see that from far away, but you know, if it sticks out a little bit, that's my fault. That was, I mean, it looks good when it's closed, but when it's open, you kind of see that. So I'll probably go in there and trim that up. But the last thing that I like to do is, instead of leaving the back looking like that, I cut another piece of cardstock just a little bit smaller, and I'm gonna adhere that to the back. So I'll do that off camera. Okay, so nice and pretty and clean on the back, and this is how it looks from the front. And you may have noticed that I do ink the edges. So a lot of times people ink their edges of their papers with one uniform ink color, like say Vintage Photo and everything. But and I do that often, but sometimes I like to ink the papers the actual same color as the paper. So as you can see here, this blue I have inked with a blue ink. And, well, you can't see it too well on here, but this red is also inked around the edge with red. So I just grab my Distress Inks, Fired Brick, Salty Ocean, and Fossilized Amber, and I ink the edges with those, just to be different this time. So, as you can see, the inside is very simple. I'm just going to adhere these into place, which I don't have to teach you how to do. It's just gluing. And then I added this 3x4 ivory cardstock for my message. And really, I mean, you could dress this all up, do cut-aparts, whatever. And maybe I will, but for now, this is the basic assembly for the inside. Okay, and I just looked it up just to make sure, and the file is called it's called Scalloped Circle Trifold Card, LoriWhitlock.com. You know, if you look at this, you could almost make this without having the file. You know, you could just make these circles instead and fold it in. It's just like a gatefold style, although this is on a diagonal. So something that I like to do, because Lori Whitlock's designs that she has on her shop, they're very clean and simple, and that's good, so it doesn't like overwhelm you when you see it like, oh, I could never make that. So she might use like one piece of paper for this corner, and that's part of her cutting file, is just one of these corners, these big triangles. But I like to take her files and add more layers, just because, you know, that's how I do it. I'm not super simple. I mean, I'm simple, but my crafting style is not. I like to layer. I like dark colors. I like lots of stuff going on. So, as you can see, I am using a liquid glue for this step, and that's because it's a triangle and it's hard to get in those little corners. Typically, I would just use tape runner, but I don't like trying to get tape runner in those pointy little corners. And this is just art glitter glue. I buy this big old bottle of this stuff, and then I just refill these little bottles I get at the craft store. So, again, like this little half scallop, see how pretty that side is? And that's what I used on one of the other cards, that side. Super pretty. But again, Lori has just one scallop, one half scallop. So I just made another half scallop a little bit smaller, and I nested it inside the one scallop. So this is going to go here, and I'm just lining up with the yellow so I don't come all the way to the fold line here in the center. There's actually space of a lot of yellow showing right here. Alright, so I'll get this other one on. I'm also very generous with adhesive. Oh boy, you should see what I do with foam tape. Yikes. Lots. Okay. So, super easy. I mean, this is just cutting out the pieces that she gives you and gluing it down. And that's looking very pretty so far. Okay, and then we have this this band here, which is sort of like a belly band to keep it all closed. So that's going to go around here and slide on and off. But before I do that, I want to add some ribbon, because that's what I did for my other ones here. I have ribbon. And I did use the same ribbon, just different color bands for these. So this time I decided, you know, just yellow didn't seem like enough, and I wanted a little more red. So I'm going to do both. So I'm going to put this yellow down the center of this here belly band, preferably straight. And you can see I've run my ribbon right through the old Xyron. Makes that super easy and quick to deal with. Okay, wow, I was real crooked right there. Fix that. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that sticking right there, kind of hold it in place for me. And then I layered up a whole bunch of stuff here. So there's the yellow scallop, the pattern paper scallop that's a little smaller, another pattern paper scallop that's a smaller size than that, and then my big circle. And that's going to completely cover this, but like I did here on the first card that I made, I'm actually going to pop it up. I don't know if you can see. Over here, over here. Okay, yeah. So you can see I popped it up. So it really kind of makes it stand out and be more dimensional that way. This one I did not pop up between, and I don't like it quite as much. not popping up. You know, this circle's popped up, but this scallop is not. So I'm going to do that again. I like the pop-up. And like I said, I like score tape. I mean, not score tape. I like foam tape. I like score tape too. Lots of foam tape. Quick. Okay. So I'll just kind of line this up. Okay, wow, that looks like a country, what's it called? Country fair ribbon, almost, in a way. All right, so this will all wrap around like so. So I'll do that and get back to you. Hold on. Okay, I had a little boo-boo, so my overlap is not very much. So I glued them and I'm clamping them, and I'm going to put that aside and hope that that holds. Otherwise I have to do a little patch job with that. But we can do the little sentiment stamp. So like I said, I've got a happy birthday on this one and a happy Mother's Day on this one. So I'm going to make a thank you. So I pulled out my good old close to my heart stamps and I stamped this circle. This circle is a 2-inch circle, and we will eventually mount it on a 2 1/4 inch circle. So when I stamped it, I thought, well, that's cute, but it's so plain. But I don't really want to stamp a whole bunch of other stuff around it. So I tested out this little background speckly kind of stamp set. This is another oldie but a goodie from Close to My Heart. This one is called Line It Up, and it was part of a Cricut bundle that I bought from them. And it has all these cool background images. This one's kind of pinkish because I've been using that striped one a lot. But that little confetti kind of dot one is cute. So I used that to test it out on a scrap. So I'm going to stamp that again here because I like it. So I got my stamp ready to go. I'm just going to use that fossilized amber ink because it's here, might as well. And I'm just going to stamp it like right over the top. So now it's cute with those little speckles. All right, so let me pop that on there and see if my little band is dry. Okay. It was a snug fit, but I got that back on there, hoping that it will relax a little bit as I pull it on and off. But as you can see, it's pretty tight compared to those other ones. So just be careful, wrap it around your card, and make sure you have plenty of overlap. My problem was that I cheated and I tried to cut that little belly band from an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper when it was really like 12 inches long. So I lost a whole inch back here, so barely have any to overlap. So learn from my mistakes. All right, get that in the middle. And then so I inked around the edges of my little thank you, and I popped it on a red cardstock circle, 2 1/4 inches. And I'm just going to use plenty of adhesive and get that right in the middle. And then just because I like the look of those other cards with the butterflies and the flowers, I think I'll do that again. You can see how every time you do it with different papers, it looks like almost like a completely different card, which I love. I think that's cute. Okay, so I believe I will use some red. Maybe even red, white, and blue. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. Do you guys have difficulty making these types of decisions like I do? Like, I don't know. The red is too much, maybe. Or maybe the white wasn't enough. I don't know. Okay, and then I wanted to talk about these little butterflies. I have them on each one up in the corner. You know how we all learn something new, right? So this was my very first time doing print then cut on the Cricut, and oh my goodness, that is cool. Very cool. Never done it before, kind of scared to do it. I had a mistake along the way. I learned a couple things. But wow, it's so pretty and so perfect, and it cut it out perfectly. I did not adjust it at all. It printed and then cut it beautifully. So I'm going to use one of those again. So I think I'll just go ahead and use my good old, whoops, super thick tacky glue here because it grabs real fast. And pop these on here. Did I even mention? Yeah, I did. This is Little Women paper, but you know, this one in particular is mostly the B sides of the paper, which is the back side, whereas the other two cards more had the A side of the paper. Pop that on there. So the idea is where the diagonal fold is here, that's about where the butterfly lands, and that's about where that center flower goes. That's sort of my guide. All right, that's that. Pretty quick, pretty easy. LoriWhitlock.com. Thank you very much. I love her. I love her shop. So there are 3 different cards, same paper collection, 3 different looks. And now I just have to decide who there's going to. This one's easy. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.